What is up, everybody? Mike here. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day, and today a little bit different. As you can see, we're in a different environment here. We're not in the garage or in a shop or anything, but we're still doing a truck update, and that is because all the pieces that I want to put on the truck are now here, and it's just a matter of getting them installed. So I just wanted to go over all the different pieces today because I still get a ton of questions on this stuff, as of course you would expect, and this is all basically engine stuff, except for over here, which is where we'll start. This is the antenna, the wiring. The antenna is the wiring and the brackets for my CB radio, so that's going to be installed on the truck soon. I actually might do it today because it's really, really nice outside, and honestly, you can't do anything with a Bulldog. You really can't. You really can't. Sitting on the... Why? Anyway, so these are the brackets that I had to paint black. Well, I didn't have to paint them black. I painted them black because they come in like a really shiny, glossed, metallic kind of finish, which I did not like at all. So I painted them black, the wiring there, and then these, of course, are the antennas themselves. But moving on from that, we're gonna go over here. First thing we'll start with is the DRP PCV reroute kit. Yo, please, buddy, I love you, but you gotta let me do this. So anyway, you can actually do this yourself with parts from like Home Depot and Lowe's for like $10, but the kit is 40 bucks, and I figured, what the hell, I'll buy it. It comes everything with you need at the right lengths and everything, so figured it was just easier to do it this way, and it'll look really nice. Moving on to the EGR. Now, EGR stands for exhaust gas recirculation, and what this actually does is up to 50% at some times, or I think even more, depending on the situation, of your exhaust gas is recirculated back into the engine. So obviously, it doesn't matter like what diesel you have, doesn't matter what brand or anything. That's like the first thing that everybody does. If your truck has an EGR, get rid of it. Obviously, it's just not good for your engine. It's for emission purposes, obviously, like every bad thing that for your engine is. So that was the first thing that has to go. I decided to go with SDP. Was deciding between a few brands, but the SDP I heard great things about, and it was inexpensive, which is pretty much my reasoning for going with the SB turbo inlet, which is often called a turbo mouthpiece. So what this is of course, well, just like it sounds, the turbo inlet, and the stock unit has a 90-degree angle to it. So this is obviously, much better airflow. And not only that, but it also has a much larger inside diameter than the stock unit. So this is gonna help free up a lot of air to the turbo, and very nice thing. I went with SB for this company. The only other one I was looking at was AFE, and their product was good. I heard good things about it, but it was about $100 more than the SB unit, and I've heard awesome things about this too, so I figured just go with SB. It's cheaper, and I'm really happy with the quality. It's really nice. This whole thing is one metal piece, really good, so excited to get that on the truck. Moving on, here is the intake, and I decided to go with SB as well for basically the same reason. It's a high quality unit, and it's one of the cheaper ones out there, and of course SB, stick with the same company, it'll match the turbo inlet, and everything will have no fitment issues. So decided to go with this as my cold air intake, and of course this is just the box and everything, and the filters in here. I decided to go with a dry filter for this because I heard a lot of people having issues with the oiled filters when it comes to their diesel engines. So I figured, just be safe, go with the dry filter, and replace it after 20 or 30,000 miles, whatever. That'll last me for a long time. 30,000 miles ish, or somewhere around there, which is what I've heard you want to replace that, will probably last me like 3-4 years. So not worried about it. It's going to be awesome. Now, with all these engine mods, the other thing is a tuner. Now, I ordered one. It's getting tuned for my truck right now. So that's the other thing that's going to be coming here soon. The only thing I don't have, aside from the lift, which I'll explain in a minute, but with all this stuff, it not only is it going to make the truck much more reliable, and look at him just basking in the sun, unbelievable. Anyway, so not only is it going to make the truck much more reliable, but it's also, I should get some pretty big power gains from this. And again, I'm not going for like huge power here at all. I'm going with a very conservative tune that I'm going to run on, not like a level 5 tune. This is just a level 1, just your regular old tune for a little bit more power and reliability. But, it should make a pretty big difference with all this stuff. I've seen some pretty crazy numbers from just these small mods. So we'll see. And of course, when it's all done and finished, we'll do some dyno stuff with it. We'll get some real numbers, and we'll have some fun with it down the road. But I know what you guys are thinking. Like, Mike, this is great and all the engine stuff, but it's pretty boring. What about the cool stuff that we're going to look at? And that is why I save the best for last, and that is my wheel and tire setup. So as you can see, I decided to go with Fuel off-road wheels. These are Fuel Hostage wheels in black, and the size is 20 by 12. And I know that was pretty highly requested, and after doing a ton of research, I mean, you guys know how buying car stuff goes. You sit there for like weeks and look at stuff and try to make a decision. And after a lot of thinking, looking at a ton of pictures of other trucks, I decided to go with the 20x12s, and I couldn't be happier. Now, it is gonna stick out from the truck, especially once it's lifted, because in the front, the way most of these lifts work is that it actually pushes out your front track a little bit, like an inch in the front. So in the front, I'm probably gonna be sticking out like here, maybe more, somewhere in the middle of the tire, which is where the fender will be. So it's gonna be pretty stance, you know, so to speak, but it's gonna look awesome. It's really good. That's the look I like. I like to have the wheels sticking out on a truck. That's just my style, so it's gonna look really, really cool. Of course, you know, the black and everything. It's gonna look great. I promise. It'll look awesome. So anyway, tires, I decided to switch it up and go with Toyo Open Country MTs. And if you guys remember from the video and my old truck before, I had Nitto mud grapplers on it, and I loved the Nitto mud grapplers. And I still think to this day that the Nitto mud grapplers are the coolest looking tire in the industry. I think they're the coolest looking. But the Toyo Open Country MTs were a little bit cheaper. I've heard they're a little bit better for daily driving. It's still gonna be really loud and everything, which is fine. I like the tire noise, it's all good. But you know, I think this is gonna be a good tire choice as well, and I wanted to switch it up. So, you know, it looks really cool. I like the tread design of this, and you know, it should be really functional. And I'm really glad that the wheel and tire setup came out the way it did. I was worried with the 20s that the tire sidewall was gonna look a little too small, but I think it's just right. You know, 18s I think would look a little bit too small, a little bit too like balloon tire-ish. And of course, any bigger than a 20, I'm not a fan of, you know, big rims on trucks with a tiny side tread wall here. I want, not only does it have to look good, but I want it to be functional off-road, and big rims are not functional off-road. So I'm really happy with this. I think the proportions are just perfect for what I wanted. This is exactly how I envisioned it. So obviously I can't wait to get it on the truck. The engine stuff I'm excited about, but the big thing of course is the wheels and tires and the lift. Oh, which is why, glad I mentioned that, glad I came to that, because I almost forgot to mention the reason why the lift is not here is because it's actually a lot more expensive for whatever reason to get it shipped residential. Now it's weird because I don't know if it's a weight thing or what, because the wheels and tires you got to figure weigh like 150 pounds each, and that was shipped here no problem. No extra money to ship it here residentially. So I don't know, but the lift, I'm gonna get it shipped directly to the shop where it's gonna be installed. So anyway, those videos will be coming very, very soon, but this was a little update on the truck. Everything that's gonna be going onto that vehicle is now here, and obviously I'm excited. I'm like a kid. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning with all this stuff getting here. Like every day was like Christmas, getting a new box, and it's painful to have it sit here in the house, and he's really upset about it. You can tell he's just like, you know, he's really impatient. But anyway, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Always appreciate it. If you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe and take care. Have a great day. One more thing, and then I promise I will leave everybody alone. Bulldogs! Just wanted to say, if you wanted to see a picture of what the wheels and tires would look like on the truck right now, check out the Street Speed 717 Instagram, which is also my personal Instagram, because I've been getting a lot of questions on that lately. Do I have any other forms of social media? And I do. I have the Instagram. Like I said, also my personal Instagram, and it's just Street Speed 717, exactly like it is on the channel, all one word, with the numbers 717 at the end. And you'll know when you're in the right place because the little picture is my Hellcat. But anyway, just wanted to share that really quickly. And now, that's the end, I promise.